Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you're connected from. You're welcome to today's live stream. I want to believe you can hear me. If you can hear me, kindly drop a comment if you can hear me. Drop a comment. You're welcome. You're welcome. I was trading today. If it was profitable, type profitable in the comment section. If it wasn't profitable, type not profitable in the comment section. I was trading today. Please confirm you can hear me loud and clear. Also confirm you can see my screen. You're welcome, you're welcome, you're welcome. I feel so excited to have you in today's live stream. You're welcome. If you can hear me loud and clear, please let me know in the comment section. I'd like to know in the comment section. If you have any question or any pair you would want me to analyze tonight, let me know in the comment section. Let me know in the comment section. All right, evening. It's been a while. How are you doing? How are you doing? You're welcome. You're welcome. If you have any question or any instrument you would want me to analyze in tonight's class, let me know in the comment section. So we're going to be here for just 30 minutes. I don't want this session to last more than 30 minutes. More than 30 minutes. So if you have any question, please drop it in the comment section. So we'll start by looking at the calendar. Tomorrow is Tuesday, 7th of October. Tomorrow is Tuesday, 7th October. So let's see. Okay, tomorrow is Tuesday. There are no major news. There are no major news tomorrow. Major news tomorrow. So there's a high probability technical setups will play out. There's a high probability that the technical setups will play out. Okay, so let's go straight to that. Sorry for that break. Sorry for that break. I had to switch network. Sorry for that break. I want to believe it's better. You can hear me clearly now. You can hear me clearly now. I think it's better now. Confirm you can hear me better. Okay, so like I said, there are no major news. We are not expecting any major news tomorrow. No major news tomorrow, Tuesday, October 7th. So we should look at our technical setup. So start by looking at DXY and also yen basket. Okay, so if you watch the video I dropped, that was yesterday. I dropped the video where I shared my expectations for the yen basket, dollar index, GBP USD, Euro USD, and gold. Okay, and I told you guys the yen basket this week would be bearish, and I think today the yen basket has been bearish. Yeah, you can see it's been bearish. I said it, mentioned it in the video that this week we should expect yen to be bearish, and that yen first would come fill this fair value gap, and you can see it has broken out from that fair value gap. I said your first target if you are selling yen should be this fair value gap, and you can see price has broken out from that fair value gap. So where is yen heading to right now? Now this is not the right time to sell yen. This is not the right time to sell yen. This would have been the best entry. Okay, this would have been the best entry for sell. This would have been the best entry. You can see what we had here. We had a spinning top. The next candle closed bearish. Excuse me, which indicates change in trend from bullish to bearish. So this would have been the best entry for yen. Now, if you have missed this first move, you have to wait for price to retrace back. You need to wait for a strong pullback before you join the bearish trend. You need to wait for a strong pullback. Okay, so let's go to the weekly. Let's identify where yen is likely heading to. Okay, I've mentioned this several weeks ago that yen, there's a high probability that yen would come fill this fair value gap that is at a discount area. I mentioned this several weeks ago. So yen is likely coming to fill this fair value gap. Okay, it is likely this will be the next target for yen. Okay, but like I said, if you want to join the bearish move, you should wait for price to pull back, probably to this resistance level, this support zone resistance. You should wait for price to pull back to this zone before you sell. Okay, that is what you should look out for. Don't sell from the current market price. Selling from the current market price is very risky. Your stop loss will be very high. If you sell from the current market price, your stop loss will be very high. Okay, so patiently wait for price to pull back to this support zone resistance before you sell. Okay, so let's look at dollar index. With you guys, my bias for dollar index this week is bullish. I expect this to be bullish between today and Wednesday. I expect dollar to be bearish between today and Wednesday. That's my expectation. As you know, NFP wasn't released last week, so this week they might release NFP. They might release NFP this week. Okay, so today the dollar was bullish, right? It was bullish. It was, I think, in New York session, price started retracing, and you can see that the sellers are trying to overpower the buyers. You can see they've pushed the price below the equilibrium for the day. Okay, you can see on a daily time frame, you can see price, the market opened at this price. Price went up as far as this, went high to this level. Okay, went up to this level, and there was a strong retracement from that level. You can see it came to test this resistance, and after testing this resistance, there was a strong rejection from that area, indicating that the sellers are showing up strong in the market. So let's go down to 4 hour. Let's see what's happening on 4 hour. So like I said, let me go back to the daily. I said dollar index might come fill this fair value gap. this week. It might fill this fair value gap this week. That's my expectation on the on dollar index. Okay, they might want to fill this fair value gap before going bearish. That's my expectation. Okay, so let's go down to 4 hour. So what do we have on the 4 hour? Okay, so right now we have bearish candles, two bearish candles. Okay, but the low, the fact that the market is just respecting the low of this previous candle indicates that the buyers are still in control. It indicates that the buyers are still in control, and you can see when the market opened today, there was a gap. There was a gap, so it's also possible for the dollar to come fill. It's also possible for it to come fill this fair value gap before going bullish. Okay, but let's see if a fair value gap was created at this point, which could be the reason for this retracement. It could be that a fair value gap was created after the formation of these candles, and that could be the reason for this retracement. Let's confirm that on a lower time frame. There is a reason for this retracement. Let's confirm that on a lower time frame. If you have any question or any pair you would want me to analyze, let me know in the comment section. So you can see what we have here on 1 hour time frame. You can see what we have here on a 1 hour time frame. Okay, so let's go down to, I think we have a tiny fair value gap here. Let's see. There's a tiny space here. Yeah, there's a tiny space here. Let's go down to 15 minutes. We'll see it clearly on the 15 minutes time frame. I think there is a fair value gap there on a lower time frame. So I think we have a fair value gap here. It's a tiny fair value gap. Okay. Let's go down to 5 minutes. There's a fair value gap here. There is a fair value gap here. Let's confirm. If you have any question, any pair you want me to analyze, please let me know in the comment section. Okay. So we had this fair value gap here. You can see this fair value gap. That is the reason for that. That could be the reason for that retracement. And price has filled this gap. Let's go back to 15 minutes. Price has filled. Let's see. Can you see this? Can you see this? Price has tested this fair value gap, and you can see after filling the fair value gap, you can see the pattern we had here. This is an hammer indicating change in trend from bearish to bullish. Can you see that? Indicating change in trend from bearish to bullish. Now, after price tested this level, you can see that price went into a range. You can see price has gone into a range. So since my bias for the week is bullish, I'm interested in the market breaking the high of this range. Okay, I'm interested in the market breaking the high or the resistance you can see of this range. Okay, so if price breaks out from this range, breaks above this resistance, that will be a confirmation to buy. That will be a confirmation to buy. But if price breaks out from the low of this range, it means dollar index might go fill the fear this opening gap if it breaks out from this support. If it breaks out from this fair value gap, then it's most likely coming to fill this fair value gap. Okay, most likely going to come fill this fair value gap. But if it breaks out from this resistance, then most likely you can see it has created a fair value gap on the 1 hour time frame. Most likely would come fill this fair value gap and also sweep the liquidity that is residing at these previous highs. That is what I see playing out on dollar index. If you have any question, let me know in the comment section. Okay, so that's my take on dollar index. Let's look at other pairs. Okay, so let's look at currency pairs. We'll start by looking at GBP USD. GBP USD. If you're yet to give the video a thumbs up, please do that so that others can get to see this video. You can also share the link with your friends who are into Forex trading. Share the link with them. So let's see GBP USD. So GBP USD bought today at the early hours of the day. It bought, and some of my students caught this move, made some good profits. Some also sold GBP USD at the early hours, and they made some good profits before this reversal. Okay, so let's start with the weekly time frame. So far this week, as you can see, GBP USD has been bullish. You can see it's been bullish so far this week. Okay, let's go down to daily. Daily also strongly bullish, as you can see. Daily is strongly bullish, and daily just broke out from this resistance. It's trading above this resistance. Okay, let's go down to 4 hour. Okay, so what do we have on 4 hour here? Do we have a fair value gap here? Let's confirm on a lower time frame. Let's see if we had a fair value gap after the formation of this pattern. I think we had a fair value gap there. So on 1 hour time frame, you can see we had this fair value gap at this point. And that could be the reason for the pullback. Okay, that this fair value gap could be the reason for this retracement. Okay, so and you can see the patterns that is forming after price tested this fair value gap. You can see the pattern that is forming. This is a bearish reversal pattern. This is a bearish reversal pattern. If this was in London or New York session, I would have considered selling GBP USD. If it was in London, if this pattern had formed in London or New York session, but because it's forming towards the end of the US session, I'm not interested in this. I'm interested in this. I don't trade the late hours of New York session. I trade London. My trading period is between 8 and 5 p.m. Nigerian time. If I don't see my setup within that time frame, I don't execute. Okay, so tomorrow I'll be looking out for sell on GU. I'll be looking out for sell. I'll be looking for opportunities to sell. If you can see, we have this support it has created. If 4 hour or 1 hour candle closes below this support zone, I would look for sells on GBP USD. If 1 hour or 4 hour candle closes below this zone, I will look for sell. If you have any question or any pair you want me to analyze, please let me know in the comment section. In the next 10-15 minutes, we'll be done with this class. So if you have any question or any pair you want me to analyze, let me know in the comment section. Okay, so that's it on GBP USD. I'll be looking for opportunity to sell below this support zone. I'm looking for opportunity to sell, and if I'm selling, my first target will be this fair value gap on 15 minutes time frame. That will be my first target, and my second target will be this relative equal low. Okay, this will be my second target. My first target will be this fair value gap. We still have a fair value gap here also. So that will be my first target. I hope that is clear. I hope that is clear. I hope that is clear. Can you all hear me? Can you all hear me? If you can hear me, type yes. Type yes. If you can hear me, type yes. Type yes. I need to be sure I'm not speaking to myself. Okay, so let's move on to the next pair, Euro USD. So you can see the pattern we have on Euro USD is similar to what we saw on GBP USD. Let's start with the weekly time frame. So far today, at the early hours of today, Euro USD sold. It sold, and I think in New York section, it started buying. Buyers showed up strongly in the New York session. So you can see what we have here. Price came, tested this support, and there was a strong rejection from that zone. There was a strong rejection from this support level. And I think we had a fair value gap here. I think a fair value gap was created at this point. That could also be the reason for the sell. Let's confirm that. That could be the reason for the sell. Okay. Let's go down to lower time frame. Let's see if there was a fair value gap at this point. Okay, so we had this fair value gap could also be the reason for the retracement, you can see. So okay, so what do we have here on 4 hour? Price came, tested its support, and there was strong rejection from that, indicating that the buyers are the demand is increasing. This indicates that demand is increasing. Okay, so with that, you can see price went into a range at this point. You can see price went into a range at this point, and there was a breakout today from this zone. You can see there was a breakout from that zone. Okay, and you can see we had this opening gap. You can see this opening gap. You can see, so probably GU wants to EU wants to come fill this gap, this opening gap, okay, before it continue with its bearish move. Before it continue with its bearish move, most likely wants to fill this fair value gap. So let's see what we have on 1 hour time frame. Okay, so on 1 hour, we had this fair value gap on 1 hour. Okay, we had this fair value gap on 1 hour, and as you can see, price has filled this gap. Okay, and we also had this opening gap at this point. These are the two areas I would be interested in selling Euro USD. You can see we have this, and we have these two areas I will be looking for sells on Euro USD. If price breaks out from this resistance it has created here, breaks out from this fair value gap, then it's most likely going to come fill this gap. Okay, it is most likely going to come fill this gap before going bearish. Okay, that's my expectation. Now let's look at this is 1 hour time frame. Let's go down to 15 minutes. Okay, so I will be looking for my sales below. So it's either price breaks out from this resistance, goes to fill this fair value gap, or it breaks out from this zone. I'll be looking for sales from this zone. If it breaks out from this zone, I will be looking for sales. Okay, I'll be looking for sales if it breaks out from this zone. A 1 hour candle, I'd love to see 1 hour candle close below this zone before taking a sell. So it's either price pulls breaks out from this resistance to fill this fair value gap above this, or price continue with its bearish move and breaks out from this zone, okay, for me to go bearish. I hope that is clear. I hope that is clear. So that's my expectation on Euro USD. I hope that is clear. I hope that is clear. I hope that is clear. Okay, let's look at gold. Gold. Okay, like I shared in my previous video, gold, though is bullish long term, this is not the right time to buy gold. Though gold is bullish long term, this isn't the right time to to buy gold. I advise that you wait for a strong retracement, a strong pullback before you buy gold. Wait for a strong pullback before you buy gold. Though gold still looks bullish, though it's still bullish, let's go down to daily. On a daily, you can see it's still bullish. Weekly, it's bullish. Daily, it's bullish. Let's go down to 4 hour. Okay, so on 4 hour, you can see the previous candle looks like a shooting star. It looks like a shooting star, though not a valid shooting star. If the current 4 hour candle closes bearish, preferably below the low of this previous candle, we should expect sales on gold. If a 4 hour candle closes below the low of this previous candle, we should expect a retracement on gold. And I did advise, okay, waiting for price to pull back to this fair value gap. This fair value gap it has created. I think we also have a fair value gap here. Okay, we want to see price pull back to a discount area. If you apply your Fibonacci from this swing low to this swing high, this should be your discount. Okay, this should be your discount from swing low to swing high. Okay, so you should wait for price to pull back to discount area before you buy gold. Okay, if you're considering buying gold, I would advise to wait for price to pull back to a discount area before you buy. I hope that is clear. Is there any other pair you want me to analyze? Let me know in the comment section. Is there any other pair you want me to analyze? Let me know in the comment section. Let's look at GBP JPY before we end this session. If there's any other pair you want me to analyze, let me know in the comment section. Yen has been bearish, and since yen is bearish, we should expect GBP JPY to be bullish. I shared that in the video I dropped last night that GBP JPY would be bearish. But what happened? GBP JPY will be bullish. But what happened this morning? The market opened with a huge gap. The market opened with a huge gap. So I took a sell at the early hours today, hoping that you can see the pattern that formed there, hanging man, hoping that GJ will retrace back to fill this gap, this opening gap. That was my expectation. That okay, it will pull back and I will look for opportunity to buy. Okay, if you attended last night's session, I think during this session I said I would love to see GJ pull back to this zone or this zone for me to buy it. But what happened? The market opened with a huge gap, so I was expecting price to retrace back. That's the reason I took the sell. Okay, took the sell. The market went in my direction. I think I made close to 70 pips, and at 70 pips, I closed 70% of my profits and adjusted my stop loss to break even on the remaining trade. Adjusted my stop loss to break even. So that one reversed and hit my stop loss at break even, but closed some profits. So I didn't lose on this trade. I actually made profits on this trade before it retraced. So with what we can see here, we can see that GJ is bullish at the moment, though this is not the right time to buy. This is not the right time to buy. If you buy from the current market price, you're catching the falling knife. That's what you'll be doing. You will be catching the falling knife. You're going to risk too much. You're going to risk too much. Okay, so if If you want to join this buy, you should wait for a retracement. Wait for a strong retracement, a strong pullback before you buy. Okay, wait for a strong pullback. So I'd rather look for sell opportunity than to buy GJ at the current market price. Wait for a strong pullback to a discount area. Okay, apply a Fibonacci from this swing low to swing high. At least you want price to pull back to equilibrium. You want price to pull back to equilibrium before you take a buy. You can't buy from this point. I think it has done over today. It has done over 200 pips. GJ has done over 200 pips today. So this is not the right time for you to buy. You should wait for price to pull back before you buy. I hope that is clear. I hope that is clear. So that will be all for tonight's session. Do you have any question? Let me know before I end this session. Do you have any question? Is there any other pair you want me to analyze? What pair are you considering trading tomorrow? Let me know in the comment section so that we can look at it together. What pair are you considering trading tomorrow? Let me know in the comment section so we can look at it together. Any question, let me know. Okay, it appears there are no questions. So that will be all for tonight's session. I appreciate you all for your participation and I wish you all a wonderful, wonderful night.